Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
Greetings and felicitations. This is The Long War. This is Michael Haspil. I'm here with my compatriots, Kenny Boucher and Stephen Fore. How's it going, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Yo, that was an amazing sentence. Haspil, I want you to know that. I expect nothing but that. So, I mean, I'm not surprised, but simultaneously, you always shock and awe me.
Better than any sentence Stephen King has ever written in The Green Mile.
Oh, dude, no. That is one of two books I've thrown across the room. The other book was As I Lay Dying by, what's his name? Not F. Scott Fitzgerald, but I don't even like him, so I don't care.
Fuck him.
But I threw that book across the room because it was garbage and he'd won a Pulitzer Prize for it. And then The Green Mile I threw across the room because it was one of I read it when it came out as a serial. So, it would come out every month. They'd come out with a different part of it, which was really, really cool. But it was like part 3 or 4. I read what, in my estimation at the time, was the perfect sentence. And I was just like, man, I will not be able to write a sentence like this ever. And I threw the book across the room because it pissed me off. And yeah, It is Faulkner. That's right. It's Faulkner. I really did not like that book.
You know what they say, Haspil. It's better to be pissed off than pissed on.
Truth. And somebody was like, hey, it's The Green Mile. You're right. It is an orc novel by Stephen King.
Fact. I recently discovered that the clown book had a child orgy scene in it. Yeah,
that's at the end of the first part.
I literally never read the book because I went down a huge Stephen King hole because you made me read the Dark Tower series, which I was very happy to have read. Then I read a bunch of his other books, and I was like, damn, this is pretty good. I like this. I watched the miniseries, never watched the movie, nothing. And I went down a YouTube hole the other day. Then I found myself learning about this child orgy scene.
Yeah, that happened.
And then I went and read it.
At the end of the first book.
I was like, it could not be as bad as these people are making it out to be. And I was like, I'm gonna go fucking read it. What the literal fuck?
What actual shit is this?
Not adapted for the film, by the way.
Oh, no. Some people were like, oh, they left it out of the movie. I wonder why.
Yeah. So for those who have not read it, the scene that we're talking about is essentially after they've defeated the first wave of it. Some stuff goes down. And it's like it is way out of left field almost. So imagine if the characters from Harry Potter just defeated
the Chimera.
Defeated, Voldemort or the Chimera or something.
Wave 1.
And then just decided to get it on, right? At the end.
This
is not Harry Potter at the end of Harry Potter. This is Harry Potter halfway through.
Year 1. They basically say that they just beat this Chimera's ass or whatever. And they're like, how are we going to get out of this dungeon? And then rather than saying maybe retrace our steps, cast a spell, the first thing is let's all just fuck.
Let's have an orgy.
Let's do it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It was brutal. And so if you guys didn't know that,
Harry Potter,
go read that shit.
And then Azkaban.
Yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban.
That is now a thing you know.
That's now a thing you know.
So yeah.
So now that we've done our shock you with something ridiculous, feel authorized. There's a great poop story on the webcast. If you guys are veterans, you can go back to our pregame show and you can hear Juice's poop story of the week. David, you're not gonna want to miss that. Give me $6. Not to advertise my paywall, but give me $6.
I want you to know that is I love that because I was coming in with the shock and awe factor of there's that. I don't know what's worse. We talk about that or the poop story from the webcast. So
well, that was organic. What just happened was super nat because when he said that sentence, I thought back to a story Haspil told me years ago of the Green Mile book throwing. So I knew so he knew exactly what I was talking about. And then Stephen King came up. I was like, you know what I just found out about Stephen King?
Yeah.
Anyway, so what we got? My man Haspil is currently Robbie B, so he obviously is the news.
Yeah. So, and I have to apologize because I've been insanely busy. I had work drop 2 proposals on me. So I'm not as up to speed on the news as I would like to be, but I do believe that you can pre-order Speed Freaks. Currently.
Let me tell you what I believe. You have the most, for anybody who's sitting in their car, maybe in their Beats lab, working on something, listening to us right now. Haspil has got the single most epic cat shirt I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
Shout out Dave Ledbetter, the Beast from the East. He has sent Mike Haspil a cat shirt, and I'm just going to try to describe this using multiple single words. Unicorn, devastation, awe.
Yeah. It is like a Godzilla-sized kitten, like on top of the space shuttle as it's launching. And I'd have to say it's like the 3rd or 4th most powerful shirt in existence.
That's it. Give us the other 2, Haspil.
The other
3
2
Pork Moon and 3 Wolf's Moon.
Yeah, it's 3 Wolf Moon, 3 Pork. Well, 3 Pork Moon comes next, and then 3 Wolf Moon, the original, is next, and then this one is only spoken about in hushed whispers, in quiet circles. Some folks have claimed to have seen it. It's a rumor. I hear there's like UN injunctions against it. The Bilderbergers conference, it gives them out, and it is a 3 Wolf Moon against a faded American flag. And
that's like, a myth.
It's a myth. If you actually wear that shirt, you can rule the world. Like it's very dangerous. Kept under, if it exists, it's not kept under lock and key at NORAD. There's like 3 different officers that have separate keys and codes. They're never in the same room at the same time.
You have to go through
that much
Stargate.
power. Yeah, that much power and awesomeness cannot be worn by one human.
Yeah. It's like one of the keys is kept in a briefcase that's with the president at all times. But yeah, so you can pre-order Speed Freaks, the box set, and I apologize. I do not know a whole ton about it, just because I've been out of the loop. So unfortunately, that is the way it is. Day job kind of crushed me this week.
Yeah, so that box is pretty cool. You've got some models that you can't get anywhere else, some exclusiveness to it. I will say this, as per talking to Robbie B and some of the masterminds behind things, like the actual dollar value breakdown is not the savings that we have seen or the value that we've seen in the past. But again, as per Orks with the Def Copta of 6th edition, the exclusivity of it is probably worth something, as well. So I'm excited for it. The buzz in the Beats Lab shop is absolutely Orks. People don't care how good these models are going to be.
It's actually a good thing that it's, because I was like, double-edged sword. If it's a sick value, that means the buggies are $100, right? So that's before we knew the price. We were like, if it's a good value like we're used to with all these other box sets, then these buggies are $100 buggies. I was like, so you either want it to be a sick value, but then now a goddamn buggy is $100, or you want it to be less of a value than what you're used to. The buggies are like $35-$40. So pick your poison.
Yeah, $45 buggies do not seem bad. And can we talk about the elephant in the room? Are they putting bases on all these buggies, and what impact does that have on the game of 40K? Are we seeing rhinos with bases in the future?
I thought it was only a matter of time before vehicles made it all got bases. Remember, Dreadnoughts used to not have them, then they had them. All flyers have them, and then they started saying you measure to the base. So I thought it was only a matter of time.
We've seen rhinos with bases before from GW, but that was just like one guy's army. If I remember correctly, like he had his rhinos on bases and people freaked out about it. And GW was like, no, don't worry about it. Like that's just this guy's bases that we photographed, or this guy's vehicles that we photographed. I don't think it's a good idea because of like Land Raiders, Bane Blades. I mean, a rhino on a base ain't that big a deal. It's 3x5, right?
But I think anything that's shaped like a box, it's dumb. It's redundant. Like,
yeah, it's redundant.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why need that?
So I'm going to go on the other end. This has been my stance. We were talking about this Friday of last week or maybe Monday of this week. I love the fact that they potentially will put a base on everything. There were some, 40K norms for as long as can be. If you had armor, you had a toughness value. Excuse me, you had an armor value. If you had flesh, you had a toughness value. We have moved that away from that. We are back to now everybody in the game just has wounds. It's easier. It makes more sense. It's everything, right? We got behind it. I can absolutely see that every model in the game needs to have a base. I think that it just makes it also, do you know what it does for me? Is that we don't care about facings anymore. Facings are dead. The whole concept of the rectangle, rhinos and the rectangle, box style Bane blades was for line of sight, or drawing down where the firing arcs are and everything else. Like all that's out the window now. So let's get live. Let's get interesting and give everybody these cool ass oval bases that we can doctor up and make things out of. So I'm behind it. I just think also that if we do it, don't stop with just that. You better fucking do more than a Ravager. Dark Eldar Ravager needs to have more than just some dumbass little stand, 40 mil base stand that it's under, considering that.
Yeah, you'd have to update it to use the base as a tool. Like in Disembarkation is a great example. If the perimeter of the base is now an oval, then we need to use the oval for purposes of like all measurements, including disembarkation. You'd have to make the oval exactly distanced enough so that you're saying when you disembark, you're touching the base on the other side. Like if the ovals are coming, make sure they're useful. They're a cleaner measurement tool than ever before. So they can't be a little circle under a big thing. They have to be greater than the perimeter of the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I can see Juice's argument on that. You know what I mean? But I guess I was just rooted into thinking too much of Imperial vehicles that tend to be rectangular. You know what I mean? They tend not to be too fancy. So it's just like putting a Bane Blade on a base or a Land Raider on a base or a Rhino on a base doesn't gain you much. But putting
on an irregular shape, like a super,
putting a Ghost Ark on a base might gain you something.
But not just gain, but like also cleans it up because like think about like these, they're all like crazy looking, like
Wave Serpent. That does clean things up.
Juice, how many times I played against
your point.
How many times I played against a Wave Serpent where the dude just has the Farseer sitting in front of the prong as it moves around so I can never target him?
Oh my God. Yes.
Somebody just asked if we're saying that a plastic Thunderhawk comes with a base. Rumor confirmed. You heard it here first. Plastic Thunderhawk comes on a base.
Head on over to beatslab.com and pre-order all plastic Thunderhawks. Bases sold separately.
So that's a pretty interesting discussion based on what's in this brief review box. We could just be off base. Maybe they just have bases because they were a solo game first. Maybe because they wanted to be treated like chariots. I don't fucking know. But I know more things happen than Speed Freaks, right? Or Speed Freaks the extent of what's happened.
I don't know. That's the problem. Is I've been head down on a couple of like real work.
Without Robbie B, this is where we're at. We don't have prices. We don't know release dates.
Guys, Games Workshop has come out with a game that's like a spin-off of Warhammer called Warhammer 40K, and it takes place in the future. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So sometime between now and November 20th, we're going to have Orks. They're going to have a book. It will have hard copy pages on the outside, soft copy flimsy pages on the inside. It's going to be around $40 to $60, depending on where you live.
Between $0 and $1,000.
Yep. Now's a perfect time to talk about the Ork book release, which is pre-orders up now, and then it drops late. I guess retailers, we can sell it Friday, November 2nd at midnight. So I guess it would be the 3rd. But so that weekend is going to be a monumental weekend. We're going to have, as soon as we get the books in our hands, we will definitely go live with some form of codex breakdown, fast and ready, knee-jerk reactions to it. And then simultaneously, that is when the legendary man in the game, captain of Team USA, Sean Naden, will be in the house. Here, when I mean the house, I mean that is the Beats Lab hobby shop here in sunny San Diego, Southern Pines. So we are going to be dropping in.
No one knows what that means.
Yeah, man.
San Diego.
One of the best
German for
best
whale's
movies
vagina.
Whale's vagina. That's exactly what it means.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to impress you. Actually, no one really knows what it means. Scholars have debated the meaning for years.
Yeah. I do know something that I saw a couple weeks back that we didn't get a chance to talk about, and it is Warhammer Art. It is a website that is creatively called warhammerart.com. And you can go there and buy some prints of your favorite artwork. And some of them are limited and everything. Some of them come framed. There's the frame stuff, I would say, is overpriced a little bit, and along with like the aluminum prints and stuff like that. But some of the regular like fine art prints and everything, they're right in line with regular stuff. So if you want to just buy the mounted print or the fine art print and mount it yourself and frame it yourself, that's not crazy unaffordable. And they have artwork from, Age of Sigmar, Horus Heresy, 40K, all kinds of stuff, Blood Bowl even. So it's pretty cool. If you want, looking for some artwork to throw up around your house, spice the place up a little bit, that there's a ton of stuff on there. I mean, literally.
So what you're saying is I no longer have to just copy, paste, or no longer have to right click, save as,
and go on your color printer and print it out.
Send it to Vista Prints for a full color mockup.
That's correct.
Tight.
So that
probably gave better resolution than 72 TPI as well.
Yeah. Well, my guess is they're probably using, and I don't know this for a fact, but they're probably using like Jiggly prints or whatever, where they have a printer that, for folks that don't know, some of these prints, they have a printer that is actually repainting the image on the paper, and it gives outstanding results. It's really great.
Oh, that's way better.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it is pricey, but I feel like if you don't get the aluminum prints or the ones that are already framed and frame it yourself or take it to Michael's or something, you might save yourself some ducats and be able to get that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's really all I know about.
So we did it. We finished the show.
All right, everybody, if you haven't already, stop what you're doing.
So that means we are far ahead of schedule because Rob usually gives us so many details. What I'm basically going to say is we're not going to do a commercial break because it's going to be a shorter show than normal. So we'll just roll right into the breakdown. Haspil's prepared a set of breakdowns from the Warhammer community relating to orcs, and we're going to try to comment on those and gloss over ones we've already covered last week.
Yes, and I wasn't here last week, so if I bring up something that we've already spoken of, that's what's going on.
You were here in spirit.
I was here in spirit, yeah.
Just not as powerful because of your shirt.
No, and it was literally came down to like work went, hey, we need this, and it's due tomorrow. And I was like, that's fantastic. It's going to take me 12 hours, and you've only given me 8. So, but that's
Haspil, before we get serious, have you ever thought about wearing that shirt to work to let them know how powerful you are?
I don't think.
Or is this one of those things you got to keep under wraps?
Yeah, I think I have to keep it under wraps. It's like one of these things where if I wore this to work, I could become CEO, like unwittingly, like just by accident, like walk into a meeting wearing this shirt, and then all of a sudden you own the company. So, that's not something.
With great power comes great responsibility. Haspil's just saying he's not ready for that responsibility in his life just right now.
Yeah, so I leave the shirt at home. I can't wear it.
Haspil, do me a favor.
Out in the open.
Do not wear that shirt to my wedding, please.
No, I won't.
Too powerful.
Way too powerful. All right. So let's see. The first And I mean, if we want to go long, Kenny, I can talk about a ton of stuff. It just won't be about 40K because I wasted my time watching Daredevil season 3, which is amazing.
Let's crush it. Let's do this 40K shit and then get out of here.
Yep. All right. So the first one rule is Daka Daka Daka, which we covered in the webcast. And it is each time you roll an unmodified hit roll of a 6 for an attack with a ranged weapon made by a model in that unit, that hit roll succeeds regardless of any modifiers, which is kind of cool because all your minus to hits and everything just go out the window. And then in addition, immediately make an additional hit roll against the same target using the same weapon. And those additional hit rolls cannot themselves generate any further hits. And at first I thought this was amazing because I was confusing it with Necron Tesla. I kind of just skimmed the rule and went, oh, this Tesla only instead of 2 hits, you get 1. But no, you have to actually, it generates an additional hit roll. So you still have to make the attack.
It's a big difference, right? So like this is something standard that we've seen GW kind of give people. It sounds amazing at first, and then you come back to reality when you realize that you only hit on 5s or 6s. So to put it in perspective for quick math, if you have a 30-man shooter boy squad that shoots a total of 60 shots, your math says you're only going to get 10 6s. So when you get 10 extra dice, math says you only get, 4.2 extra actual hits. So it's only the equivalence of 10 points because a shooter boy is allegedly going to be 5 points. So this stratagem, this universal special rule.
Yeah, well, they said it was like it might be an army-wide rule. Yeah. So like everybody might.
It's definitely going to be an army-wide rule. Everything's going to have it. It's exactly worth free, and it is free. So
it's exact. That's the most true statement I've ever heard. It's exactly worth free.
Yep. All right. So we'll roll into. They gave us some stuff here based on the different Ork clans that have different rules. So I'm going to try to go in order here. Let me go back to the original one. So they put up some stuff for Goths, and there's a rule that they have called no mucking about. And each time you roll an unmodified hit roll of a 6 for an attack with a melee weapon.
Same rule, close combat.
Yeah, basically the same thing.
This one is good because orcs hit on 3s or 2s. So this is the good version of what you just heard. But you can see it's not free. It's key to a clan. And it has the prerequisite of you have to touch a motherfucker. So you can see it escalates in effectiveness.
Right.
And it's really quality.
We move on to one of the now this is a stratagem, right? And this has been setting the internet on fires. Teleporta. It's 2 CP. And use this stratagem during deployment. You can set up an orc unit from your army with a power rating of 20 or less on a teleporter pad instead of placing it on the battlefield. So units on a teleporter pad can teleport down at the end of any of your movement phases, set them up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches from any enemy models. If you use the stratagem on a transport, all units embarked inside remain so when it is set up on the teleporter. So that seems kind of good.
Kenny.
Yes, sir.
I have a quick question. Just jog my memory real quick. Was it not near episode 147, 151 of the Long War podcast where potentially you or someone on a panel, we went in describing that everyone should potentially have a deep strike stratagem?
Yes.
Confirmed.
So basically, I think they should just made it official with a universal stratagem. But this is kind of cool because there's more going on. And I have to give credit to GW, right? So a lot of what we've been saying lately is like, GW, really? Really? But like straight up, I like this because there's more narrative here. There's more than meets the eye. Because like, for example, Eldar, they have this version where it's like 1 unit's 1 CP, 2 is 3 or some shit like that. But since they're a super faction, and they can have like Drukhari, Eldari, and Harlequins in the same faction. They all have that same wording. So since they're a super faction, they gave you one that is got a different restriction on it, right? Whereas Orks don't get to do that. They gave them one that you can go infinite on. So, right? You could literally say it's 2 CPs. You could just do everything as long as you follow the rules. So I'm like, okay, I do like it not being a universal stratagem, that because if it was a universal stratagem, it would probably all be like the Eldari one, where the Webway, where it's 1 unit's 1 CP, 2 is 3. So I'm like, I don't want that because not all armies are created equal. They're not all super factions. So I do really like this because it's a mono faction. It should have one that, sure, the initial cost is more expensive, but the fact that you could put 30 dudes down, 30 dudes down, 30 dudes down, you could just keep going. It's pretty awesome. And it's not different than like a triple Eldari army, right? Like if you have Drukhari, Eldari, and Harlequins, and you're trying to deep strike 2 units from each one of those squads, you're paying 9 fucking CP, right? So if you want to do 6 units, it's 9 CP. If you want to do 5 units, it's 10 CP. It's pretty close to the math. So I like this unrestricted level. I like the narrative, so I do rescind like a universal stratagem that has one wording. I don't like that. GW will give you a little bit of credit for this one. Keep it with the fresh narrative.
Yeah, I also like the fact that, as it's described, if the unit is embarked in a transport, that transport can also come in. So now you're saying we get to deep strike.
What that means is you have Ork drop pods.
Yes. That are not a waste of points because once they hit the ground, they are not immobilized. Right? So, no, I feel like this is really solid.
It's the most useful tidbit we have received yet. It is the absolute. That there's a reason GW leaked this one first, like this or not first, but like they leaked it right now. It's because it is, as a lull is coming in the hype train of Orktober. They're like, here it is, motherfuckers. This is one that every Ork player.
This is what you wanted
because it's Ork keyword. It's not vehicle. It's not infantry biker. It's literally Ork, son. So you can rack your brain on what is the most effective shit. I've spent hours thinking about it, just correlating, like Eldar do it, like Crimson Hunter, Deep Strike, Webway. That is a fucking deadly Crimson Hunter. A Crimson Hunter, you don't get to fucking shoot before the game, like on turn 1. So going second safely is the name of the game. Orks can do that. Now they have access to that, just like anyone else. Amazing fucking rule for Orks. And
plus matched with that relic that we're gonna get to in a little bit.
Yeah, before I change subjects, last thing, I just want to say this because knobs have not been, like knobs. We talked about a webcast. Anyone listening to the podcast, I believe basic bitch knobs, not bikers, not mega knobs. I think that knobs are gonna take a point deduction across the board. And I do think some of them are not gonna be effective. But I think basic hobo knobs, walking around knobs, are gonna go sub 200 for 10 with all big choppers. That's going to be one of the premium teleporty units out there, aligned to Evil Sons, which they get to add 1 to their move, advance, and charge, which means these dudes are going to get an 8-inch charge when they drop in, and they get to reroll the fucking charge, because here we go. And the rumor right now is here we go is going to be the best version of rerolling charges, which lets you reroll any combination of the dice, all but guaranteed now. Even with a command point reroll, you can roll 8s. So I think that is a big deal to me, being a long-term Ork fan, loving knobs. I have such high hopes for a knob close combat squad using teleporty, rolling an 8-inch charge with a reroll, and fight it twice stratagem is going to guarantee me in this codex. That unit is Zangor's.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that, definitely. Let me move on to the next stratagem. Let me bring this up, sorry for the delay. This one's 1 CP. It's called Scarboys. It is a Goth stratagem, not an Ork stratagem. Use this stratagem before the battle. Select the Goth Boys unit. Excluding Ard Boys from your army, that unit gains the Scarboys keyword, and the strength characteristic of models in that unit is changed to 5. That unit can only use the mob up stratagem to merge with other units of Scarboys.
Scarboys, one of the OG units back in 3rd edition. Scarboys was just a unit, an elite choice in the Ork Codex back in the day. They were simply strength 5 boys. They were basically boys who weren't knobs yet. right? So that was a 3rd edition codex entry. I'm glad to see that come back in the form of a stratagem.
Yeah, I was too, and I like the fact that they have an ability for a unit-wide aspect to like buff up their strength. This is also, something different. We've seen catechins get it, but nothing in +1 strength. And also, Kenny, does +1 strength, is that a poor man's +1 to wound?
Super poor man. I do want to correct myself. Scarboys went to they went to strength 4. I think because all orcs were actually strength 3 back in the day. So the Scarboys were strength 4, the knobs were strength 5. I forgot about that. But yes, +1 to strength is garbage compared to +1 to wound. Strength has mattered. Right. Strength has never mattered less in 40K than it does right now.
Yep, I agree. But this is something that we've seen so many codexes get, which is +1 to wound. And I believe that this is their version of a poor man's +1 to wound. Being if you're looking that this unit is going to go after infantry, stuff like that, like +1 strength, now being strength 5 is huge.
Yep. Yeah, for one, is it 1 CP stratagem for Goths?
It is a 1 CP stratagem.
Yeah, so I like that. It's very Goth. They're the close combat guys. So they have Tesla close combat. They're going to have +1 to hit. So you're going to talk about 30 Scarboys hitting you off the teleporting.
That could be bad.
That's pretty. They all have +1 attack because they're over 20. They're going to be hitting on 2s. 6s generate new attacks. They hit on 2s, and they're going to wound on 3s. And if they can fight twice, that unit's pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds like that could be bad. So now we're going to move on to the snake bites, and they have a special rule called the old ways. Roll a dice each time a model with this culture loses a wound. On a 6, the wound is not lost. If a model has a similar ability, you can choose which ability to use when the model loses a wound, but you cannot use both. So it's like 6 up, feel no pain.
Yeah, I hate it. They have to have other stratagems that are just so fucking good for me to care about them.
Yeah, but it does save you the cost of a pain boy for them.
It does, but I don't even take them anymore.
Yeah.
Stratagems cannot equal 6 up feel no pains. It just can't. I think it's usually like a stratagem.
Let me tell you what. You know how many games with Iron Warriors I've played, Juice? How many times I've played my cultists as Iron Warriors in the history? Many times. You want to know how many times I used the 6 up feel no pain stratagem?
Yeah, never.
Literally never. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, again, Helverins have a single point stratagem, right? Or any Night Titans have a single point stratagem. For 1 CP, they can have a 5 up feel no pain against mortal wounds. Come on, man. A 6 up against everything is trash. Unless it's on a model with 40 wounds.
A 6 up feel no pain needs to be the bonus to the stratagem. It needs to be the extra part. There needs to be, stratagem needs to say something like, we do this, this, and this, and additionally, we get a fucking 6 up feel no pain. Not the entirety of the stratagem. Oh, bleh.
Yeah, and this one I'm not sure about either. I don't know. There's 3 CP, which sounds really expensive for this. It's called Monster Hunters Snakebite Stratagem. Use this stratagem at the start of any phase. Select an enemy model with a wounds characteristic of 10 or more and add 1 to wound rolls for attacks made by snakebite units from your army that target that model until the end of that phase. It's a good stratagem, but to me, 3 CP, that's a lot.
I forgot. I didn't hear that part. I didn't hear that part. I didn't hear that part. That is what? You know what that means? They're coming after Veterans of the Long Wars. They're coming after.
Dude, they've got to be coming because that was the Veterans of the Long War. This is a poor man's Veterans of the Long War.
This is actually a rich man's Veterans of the Long War.
Yeah, oh my gosh!
This is it's funny because Veterans of the Long War, guys, if you didn't know, it's 1 CP and 4 phase, and that unit literally has +1 to wound. It's a sleeper. It's a sleeper stratagem. People don't understand that. There's a lot of great strategies in the game. Veterans of the Long War is top 3 best strategies in the game, and it's a simple 1 CP +1 to wound. It is that fucking. That's in this game. That is so powerful +1 wound. So them coming out with like a restrictive version of it that's 3 CPs tells me Veterans Long War is on the cutting block.
For chapter approved, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Then I'm going to jump forward here. This is still snake bites, but we're talking about weird boys at this point. And we have a couple of the new psychic powers. This is Fists of Gork, warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select a friendly orc character model visible and within 12 of the psyker. Add 2 to that model's strength and attacks characteristics until the start of the next psychic.
This is the new psychic power, right? So this is like a buffed version of Diabolic Strength. Chaos has one like this. Mm-hmm. Ours is +2 to strength, +1 attack. This is +2/+2. This is a solid one.
What is it cast on?
6.
Yeah. Suddenly, my super power fist war boss that generates more attacks on more hits on 6s and hits on 2s is looking pretty strong.
Yeah. And then the next one is called the Crunch. Has a warp charge value of 8. If manifested, select an enemy unit with an 18 of the psyker. Roll a d6 for each model in that unit. For each roll of a 6, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Then roll 2d6. On a 10 plus, roll a d6 once more for each model in that unit. For each roll of a 6, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. So
a double spell, a stipulation spell. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the snakebite one because I've actually seen the chat go off on that one real quick. The snakebite Veteran Long War one. Reread it to us because the chat seems to disagree with our opinions.
Let me see here. The Monster Hunters one, 3 CP. Use this stratagem at the start of any phase. Select an enemy model with a wounds characteristic of 10 or more. Add 1 to wound rolls for attacks made by snake bite units from your army that target that model until the end of that phase.
So is it literally a model with 10 or more wounds? Monster Hunter?
It is an enemy model with
so fucking garbage, guys. Anyone in there who thinks this is good,
trash.
I need to save you from yourself right now. This is so bad. Like it only works on fucking 10 or more single models.
It actually is.
Even though all of your guys can attack it at once. Like if you can't kill something with 10 or more models with other things in your army's built wrong. Like this is 3 CP like drain.
Dude, this is actually worse than what I thought it was. I thought it was just like, pick an enemy unit and you get +1 to wound against that single enemy unit. And I'm like, that's still not good.
Though all of your dudes benefit from it, it's too restrictive on its target parameters.
No, 3 CP, ladies and gentlemen. 3 CP lets me rotate Iron Shields on a model, to give a 3 of invulnerable check. Gets me 17 free rerolls because of I get to reroll all once.
I would pay 3 CPs for this if it got rid of the Monster Hunter clause. I'd pay 3 CPs for a Veteran of the Long War that literally was reversed. Right now it's pick my guys to +1 wound. If it was flipped, pick a unit and everyone in my army is +1 wound. I'd pay 3 CPs for that. Mm-hmm. I would. Like I'd be like, you mean all my cultists have it this turn?
Sure.
Versus that night? Oh yeah, I'll do that, but not like only a fucking night. Like I also want to do it against that unit. It's too restrictive.
Yeah,
and also it's too restrictive.
Like 3 CP, there isn't but a handful of 3 CPs in the game. This is definitely not worth it.
It's versus a model, not a unit. Like it might have some play if you can do it against a unit that was 10 or more wounds. It's a model.
Yeah, it's a model with 10 or more wounds, not a unit. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat too. I was just trying to decipher what somebody was saying about not a stratagem.
Yeah.
About a 6+ feel no pain in the army rule.
Yeah, I mean it works on knights. It works on rhinos. It works on all that shit, man. But fucking I plan on killing that knight with 1 single unit of fucking fight twice knobs.
Yeah. It's the 3 CP cost that makes me balk at it. Yeah. I'm just like, no.
Like there might be a situation. Well, first off, you got to play snake bites. That's the other restriction. Yeah. I don't rate them high on my clan list.
Yeah.
So it's restrictive on clan and then it's restrictive on target. I don't like it.
Yep. And then I think that covers the snake bite stuff. So we'll move on to Bad Moons, which is actually one of my favorite orc clans. They have lots of teeth. That's why. So
they actually are bad for the orc economy.
They are. And speaking of teeth, we have Bad Moons armed to the teeth. Reroll hit rolls of 1 for attacks made by models with this culture in the shooting phase. Seems all right. I don't know how many of the units will have that.
These are confirming. No, that's the clan rule. That's the culture, right?
True. Yeah.
That's the Bad Moons. That's the chapter. So like so what's cool about this is GW's just come out and confirmed like the things we had rumors about. This is one of my favorite ones because like I said, now you have I don't make an Ork roster that doesn't have 6 or 9 Met cannon artillery pieces, 30 Gretchen and 2 Weird Boys. Cause the cannons hit on 4s. They have D6 shots. 4s hit rerolling 1s. I'm with that. That is huge. So like I Bad Moons is really good, especially with the Dragster. When we're talking about some other buggy we like has the 2-shot or is the 2-shot hit on 3 med gun. If that thing is like the right points, that thing Bad Moons suddenly doesn't suck, right? Bad Moons is amazing. It's going to be an anchor to I think almost every orc. It's going to be a shooting anchor to almost every orc army as one detachment.
Yeah. And then they highlighted the Stampa, moved on to one of my most hated rules, but it is different than when I hated on it. And it's called the Stampa Rigger Crew. And this model's grot riggers can attempt repairs at the end of your movement phase. If they do so, roll a d6 on a 2-up. This model regains d3 lost wounds, and a model can only be repaired once each turn. So the d3 part, I'm like, okay, I'm down with it. More than that is when I hated that rule.
Yeah, and so it's a 3 flat now, right?
It's D3. It's D3 lost wounds.
Oh,
so
also,
I'm okay with that.
Let's fact check ourselves real quick. My man Odin on Xbox having a fucking aneurysm on Xbox. I think I've seen it come through 3 times. That's right. The snake bite one wasn't a stratagem. It was actually their clan rule. Right? I
didn't think I said it was a stratagem.
Me and Ju said it was a stratagem. Because for some reason. But no, that's right. Yeah, the snake bite one is a free 6-up feel no pain. And it works on everything, including vehicles. Which definitely it progressively gets better with the more wounds a vehicle has. 100%. Sure. But you still have to take snake bites. So that is the least, like compared to Bad Moons, it's garbage.
Do you know how many High Fleet Leviathans you've seen, Kenny?
None.
Tell me out there out west. How many High Fleet Leviathans? They have a 6-up feel no pain, homie.
Yeah, we don't take them. You take the guys who give you more DPS. You're like you want
Kraken Kronos. Let's go.
DPS.
Yeah. So and let's see, the Stampa got more got basically hit on strength 20. So that's kind of nuts with the
the Stampa got from what it looks like a little 8th edition firepower love, right?
Oh yeah, it did. Absolutely. And so when we compare to the index Stampa, the Super Gatler went from heavy 2d6 to heavy 3d6. Rest of the stats stay the same. Super Rocket went from heavy d3 to heavy d6, and the Def Cannon went from heavy d6 to heavy 3d6, which is pretty big.
Yeah, that's solid. We've got to hold our breath to see exactly what the points costs are gonna break down to.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Yeah, because my man Odin is like, it's gonna be so hard to kill with snake bites and all these other things. Like, dog, if it's 900 points, it's garbage.
Yeah,
no,
it's completely useless. if it's 600 points, you start to have a point.
Yeah. So he's got 40 wounds. Is that correct?
Correct.
That is correct.
Yeah. So if you're saying that I have a feel no pain on 40 is 8, so it actually
assume you have the combo. You have a custom force field and you have a 6-up. So you have a 5-up, 6-up against the best shooting in the galaxy.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, if you take it as a snake bite, just and getting a 6-up feel no pain, math says that you get it'll be 48 wounds.
6.6. You will actually get 6.6 wounds, right?
6.6. Okay. So I mean 47 is not bad.
And then you get the Stomper Riggers that give you D3 lost wounds back.
Yeah.
On a 2-up.
Yeah, it saves you versus like 2.5 last cannon average rolls. It basically takes those out of the person's army and plus another one. So like 3.5 last cannons. So I mean, yes, you're correct. But for 900 points,
if it is,
it's currently like 900 points.
I want you to know, GW is not going to give a Castellan 28 wounds. Now they are toughness 8. What's the Stampa's toughness? 7, right?
I don't know.
So it's the same. So either way, so you're not gonna. It's not the same.
It's probably a T8, right? I mean, fuck. Thing is, it's 40 wounds. GW puts all those in different categories. How many wounds are the How many wounds are the Gorkonauts?
18.
So
16 or 18.
So they don't have anything in between, right? So they have to do a complete overhaul to the Stampa to get its points sub 700.
Yeah, and again, you can't even just say, "Oh, it's a knight." Like, no, it's got 40 wounds. That is 12 more than a Castellan.
Yeah,
and the rumor mill
folks in the chat are saying it's T8 in the index.
Okay, good. So I mean, I'm telling you, I was even going to say like, oh, if it's T7, I could see it being at a smaller premium. But the rumor is that the Castellan is going to see in a lot of these nights, you're going to see point hikes. You don't think that a Stampa is going to be 540 points. You're not going to get a Gallant Stampa. No. You're not going to get a Crusader even Stampa. Like this cat is going to be 700 points.
Mm-hmm.
Before weapons.
Yeah, I mean, like he's not like they're not going to give this guy. If they wanted him to be 650 points, get it out, he'd be 28 wounds.
Yeah, he'd look exactly like the prerequisite of a model that already exists. GW also doesn't even have production in place to supply Stampas. They're like basically special order only. So like that's further evidence that they're not really pushing it because they have no interest in supplying a demand. So like, I mean, like it's like in my heart, I used to play Orks 7th edition. Guess what we did? We played the cheaty Forge World Stampa because Forge World had it at 500 points, and not the Codex Stampa that was 900 points. So if it's not cheaty point cost, it does not play.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I lost my page here. All right, jumping back in here. Then we have changes to the Morkanaut. Has a bunch just different changes. The biggest one is that the Mega Cannon is now the custom Mega Zappa, and different attack profile. Instead of D6 shots, it gets D3 shots. So that is somewhat different at 36 inches, strength 8, AP -3, damage is D6. And then if you roll one or more unmodified hit rolls of a 1, the bearer suffers 1 mortal wound after all the weapon's attacks have been resolved. So that's interesting. And then they've got stuff on shock jump dragstas, which just adds 2 to the hit rolls when firing a custom shock rifle with a squig ability and a grot gunner.
Yeah, that's the one that we talked about. That one hits on a 3-up, so that one with bad moons might be good if it's the right points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we can move on from here to, and these are strictly rumors, whereas the stuff we were just reading, that's essentially confirmed because that was from GW's site. So this stuff is from all over the interwebs, and it is not it is not confirmed. So take this with a grain of salt. But
so far, it's been all pretty accurate. All the rumors.
Well, and I imagine it would be really close to accurate. I mean, if you're pre-ordering the decks, Saturday, right? Or
you can pre-order it this Saturday for next week.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay. So it's really close. So I would guess that a lot of this stuff, if it's not dead on, it's very close. Because I imagine some folks have the book in their hands already.
And real quick, Odin on Xbox, I agreed. Ork Bikers. 3 Ork Bikers is like 82 points right now. 3 Ork Bikers are legit better than every buggy, right? Like mathematically about at least equal to some of them, but they're like 3 orc bikes is 6 wounds, toughness 5, 4 up save, and 18 strength 5 shots. Right? They're like 82 points. These buggies have to come in under 80 points to matter.
Yeah, and not a single buggy that we showcased last week has 18 shots. Not a single buggy.
And some of them do, but they're not 18 strength 5 shots.
No, it's like 2, sluggas or, on top of D6 or 8.
And then like 30 grenades that are strength 4, some like 3D3 grenades or some shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And somebody else in the chat, Tez Nitropane was saying that Morkanot does mortal wounds when wounding on a 6. So I missed that.
Overvalued.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. Don't get it wrong, but like I believe that the mortal wound thing does not count when he's doing his sweep attack. It's only when he's doing his claw. And at his top bracket, he's 5 or 6 attacks. Like, means nothing to me.
All right. So on to Shiny Gubbins. These are the relics for the orcs, the rumored relics. First one, the dead shiny shooter. A model may replace their custom shooter with the dead shiny shooter. Range is 18, assault 12, strength 4, AP 1, damage 1.
Trash.
Yeah, I'm like, meh, not worth.
Don't worry, the good relics are coming.
Yep.
Killer Chopper. Model may replace their big chopper with this weapon. Range is melee. Strength 2, AP 2, damage 2. Wound rolls of a 6 made for attacks with this weapon inflict 2 mortal wounds instead of normal damage.
Yeah, that is solid. Right now, this is Buzz Choppa Kill Death. Right? That's the name of it.
Head Wappa's Kill Choppa.
There it is. So that is a really solid relic. I like the fact that it's 2 flat mortal wounds. What do we have in the game, ladies and gentlemen, that has 2 flat mortal wounds?
No, yeah, it's definitely. I mean,
that is solid AF. Like I actually
we had something until GWFAQ'd it, but definitely it's a big chopper. Big choppers are +2 strength, so it's basically a special big chopper, and it's already in the index. They just modified it to be a little bit better now. So it's been the official like war boss choice for a while.
Yeah, this has been the one, but having 2 flat this, and again, if you pair this with extra attacks, if certain individuals, if auras are around, like this cat is
hit on 2s, get new attacks on 6s, throw Fist of Gork on them, get +2 strength, +2 attacks. Suddenly it's strength fucking 9. Like it's looking pretty strong.
Well, +2 strength on knobs or strength 8, right?
This gives them this gets them to strength 7 right now.
Okay.
And then the new psychic power will get them to strength 9.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. Then we have the super cyborg body. Each time the bearer loses a wound, roll a d6 on a roll of a 5+. That wound is not lost, and you cannot make a doc tools roll for this model if you do so.
I like how they
5 up, feel no pain.
5 up, feel no pain. This is amazing.
Yeah,
this is way better than some shitty 4 up and vulnerable. This is the heater.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to talk about why that is so much better. We used an analogy earlier in the show talking about, let's say a weapon does 5, 6, 7 damage, something like that. Having a 6 up feel no pain, or excuse me, a 5 up feel no pain against every one of those means that, if you have 6 wounds and someone does 6 damage, there's a 83% chance that you're going to live because you'll save one of them, a minimum, right?
Probably 2.
Probably 2. There's even, if I'm a bet man, I'm going to go on more of the 50-50. I still have half ones. But if you tell me you have a 4 up and vulnerable and you have 6 wounds and this is 6 damage, it's a 50-50 chance if you live. So easy raw math says 4 up and vulnerable, 50-50. Feel no pain on a 5 up, 83% chance. Seems a whole lot better to me.
Agree. All right, moving on. We have the Killer Claw. Weapon replaces a model's power claw, range is melee, strength times 2, AP 3, damage 3, and you can reroll wound rolls for this weapon.
It's really one of the best punchy relics of all time. It's a power claw that loses the -1 to hit according to the profile, and it goes to thunder hammer damage and allows you to reroll the wounds. Fucking amazing.
Yeah, 3 amazing rules. No -1, 3 flat damage, and reroll the wounds.
If you had 2 like baller war bosses in your army, or just characters in general who can take these weapons, who are badasses, you can have the chopper, the super chopper, and you can have this, and then you can sling the fist of Gork over to the chopper guy and have just 2 murderers. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Next one is called Scorched Get Bones. It is psyker only. You can add 1 to psychic tests by the bearer manifesting powers from the power of the Wa discipline.
So this might be the writing on the wall, ladies and gentlemen, to say that orcs need a bonus to get a psychic ability off. All the orc players out there are saying, I've never needed that in the future because every 10 boys I have around me gives me +1 to cast. So this might be the writing on the wall to say that's going away.
Truth.
Could be. Next one up, Get Stoppa Shells, models with custom shooter, combi weapon with Scorcha, or combi weapon with rocket launcher only. Add 1 to the strength and damage characteristics of that weapon's shooter or custom shooter profile. Improve the AP of that weapon by 1. So example, AP -1 becomes AP -2. And I'm kind of meh on that one. Don't care for it.
It's not a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me of
and a lot of these
the new Cybolt ammo, which is like,
a lot of these we have to see warlord traits on too. Like this, the thing is like so much of the relic game is dependent on the warlord game.
Yeah, because it could combo with something really well, but on its own, I don't think there's better relics to take if you're going to take,
Oh, absolutely.
This next one, I actually have had, a variant of this, obviously, not this exact one, used against me quite a bit, and it's pretty good. The Lucky Stick. Goth models only. Add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by friendly Goth characters while they are within 6 inches of the bearer in the fight phase. In addition, you can reroll hit and damage rolls for attacks made by the bearer in the fight phase.
So this was something from back in the day that actually had stipulations attached to it. Something that I'm not a fan of at all, is where it would allow you to have a reroll, but if you used it and there's stipulation where you could die yourself.
It was amazing though. Like it was definitely
it was everybody and their mother
auto include every orc army back in the day.
Yeah. This is really good because I like the verbiage, Kenny. I like the fact that it says all. I don't like the fact that it just says just characters. But it says all Goth characters within 6 inches gets +1.
It says all Goth models, right?
No, characters.
Let me check that up again. So, by friendly Goth characters that are within 6 of the bearer in the fight phase.
So this is why I believe it's going to stack with a wall banner, because this is shouting out only Goth characters. A wall banner, as of right now, as it sits, is all orc models. So a Goth character who's within 6 inches of this and a banner's +2.
I just can't see with that character. I just can't see this being your choice for a relic over Fiona Payne Claw or Super Chopper when the wall banner already exists.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like, because you can't generate new hits with pluses. It has to be unmodified 6s. So like the double stack, you're still hitting on 2s.
Well, what about if you've got some guy on a bike who's going in and buffing up people's close combat attacks?
But it only works on the characters. Right, so the Lucky Stick is Goth characters.
So you have 2 of those murder dudes that you were talking about with the Super Choppa and the
right, but they already hit on 2s. Like that's what I'm saying is like so the pluses are good against something that's minus to hit in close combat and that's not as prevalent.
Yeah.
And the unmodified sixes mean like if it was any sixes rolled generating new attacks in close combat for Goss, I would literally be like, oh yeah, double stack city, but that's not what it says. So I don't like this.
Yeah. And furthermore, we all talk and get hyped about relics, but like you can only have 2 in an army for any single faction. Right? If you have a souped army, where you have 3 different factions inside of a single list, like you can have 6 relics. But as it stands right now, Orks can only pull 2 relics out of this book. I don't think the Lucky 6 stands up.
Okay, I've changed my mind. You convinced me. Garbage. All right. The next one is Morgog's Finken Cap. Blood axe model only. If the bearer is your warlord, you can generate a second warlord trait for them. If the bearer is not your warlord, you generate a warlord trait for them. And the same warlord trait cannot be generated for both the bearer and the warlord.
This could be obviously depending on what the warlord traits are, which if there's some amazing ones. And I like the blood axes. I think they actually have a really good culture. I think that has a lot of play. Being able to fall back and still charge with a bunch of Storm Boys, I think is really fucking good. So that means the stipulation of having to be that clan is not too much of a penalty or a penalty at all. So if there's some good warlord traits, now you can get 2 relics and 2 warlord traits. Seems good.
Next one is Rez Mecha's Redder Armor. Evil Sons only. Add 1 to the movement characteristic of a transport while this model is embarked within it. In addition, if the bearer is embarked, then at the start of your movement phase, rolls of D6 for each enemy unit within 1 inch of the transport the bearer is embarked in. On a 4-up, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds.
Yeah, that one's okay.
Situational. I'd rather have this in my arsenal than not.
Real quick, the chat seems to think that the Orks get 3 relics for 3 CP.
I think they do. Is
that something that we overlook? Because everyone else has to pay the 3 CPs to get 2.
Yep.
Well, let me look. But when you said that, I thought.
Well, everyone gets 3, right?
Everybody gets a free one, and then you can buy 2.
You can buy 2.
Right?
So yeah. So I guess we misspoke. Right. So you're getting 3 relics is a misspeak. So you're getting 3. Those 3 are going to probably, like for me, most of the time are going to be that Feel No Pain, that Choppa, and that Power Claw, unless Blood Axes prove to me that the Thinking Cap is what I need.
So it's and I apologize. In my mind, what I'm thinking is I'm going to get the Claw for free, then I'm going to spend 1 CP to get, the Choppa. What do I believe that is worth 2 CP to give me the third one? That's where I'm at. It ain't that. It's not worth 2 CP to me. I'd rather deep strike a unit.
Yeah, true. All right. And moving on, you've got, let me see here, the Gobshot Thunderbus. Bad Moons model with a custom shooter, custom weapon with a Scorcher, or combi weapon with a rocket launcher. Only the Gobshot Thunderbus replaces bearer's custom shooter or shooter profile with the following profile. The Gobshot Thunderbus, range 12, heavy 2d6, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1, weapon automatically hits its target. I think this one's kind of good, especially if you're deep striking somebody.
Well, you're going to miss off the deep strike. Oh, it's 12. That's right. You're not going to miss.
It's 12. That's why I was like,
yeah, that's right. That's why I like it.
This is kind of nice.
So it's like having 2 heavy flamers.
Yeah.
So look at it like that. So you have to buy your combi Scorcher, and then you have this CP, and then your combi
spend resources,
and then but still, so like the going rate of 2 heavy flamers is like 30 something points.
17 points of flamer, so 34.
So it's like having 34 points plus the initial investment of a combi Scorcher, which is probably like 12 points.
How many points did you value CP at?
I think a CP is worth almost 100 points.
So you got to spend 2 of it to make this happen, where you deep strike them, and then
that might be a lot, but a CP is definitely not worth less than 50 points.
No, exactly. And then on top of that, to get this relic, again, we've already decided that our 2 relics are always going to stay the same. We're up in the air for the 3rd one. This is going to cost, so this combo in most competitive armies is going to net cost you 4 CP to do. 2 to deep strike the character, 2 to get the 3rd relic. Doesn't seem necessarily. I love this. I got hyped on it, but after doing the math, I don't think it adds up. See what I did there? Math.
Yeah, this is why I don't play orcs.
You're coming to one of my favorite
because
ones.
I totally would have put that. I totally would have put that on a character and deep struck him in a transport. In a transport and be like, I'm cooking you mofos right now.
That's right.
Like, here's a thunder bus in the face. I totally would do that.
Timothy Curro, he's asking about the teleporty. That's fun that he asked that. He's like, it says at the end of your movement phase, you think it'll bypass the basically the FAQ? No. These were already written. These were already written in stone before the FAQ came out. Like, the FAQ supersedes everything. It says you're not going to be arriving until turn 2.
Yeah. The next one is called the Fixer Uppers. Death Skulls model only. Bearer gains the big mechanic ability. If the bearer already has the big mechanic ability, targeted ability regains 3 lost wounds instead of D3 each time it's used.
I really, really like this one. This one makes me happy because the Gorkanaut has a carrying capacity. The Stomp has a carrying capacity. We have got old school kill me, not in a turn, you will not kill me. The feel to it. Now, it won't be able to be as abusive as what it was back in the day, but I like the fact that if a Gorkanaut survives a turn or 2, like, it's net getting 6 wounds back.
Yeah. All right. And let me bring up
the
next one.
The old infinite repair stompa trick.
Yeah, not a fan of that, by the way. Brog's Buzz Bomb. I actually really like this one.
I like this one really too, cool.
Haspil. Snake bites only. That's the part I don't like about it.
Anything that starts with snake bites only is low on my list.
Yeah, range 6, grenade 3d6, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. The weapon can only be used once per battle. After all its attacks have been resolved, you can immediately select another enemy unit within 6 of the target and resolve 2d6 attacks against it with the same weapon. This ability only occurs once, and the weapon automatically hits its target.
This one's interesting. So it's 5 heavy flamers. But the heavy flamers only have a grenade range. So you're not doing this from a deep strike. And so you have to factor in the cost again, right? So, like, yes, technically you're getting 5 heavy flamers that only shoot once, though. 5 heavy flamers that shoot once for that, but they can't shoot the same target, which sucks. So there's a restriction. Snake bite. Bleh. Second restriction. Shoot once only. Third restriction. They both can't shoot the same target. You can't go all 5d6 in the same target.
So can you not? It says shoot.
It says once you resolve all of your attacks, pick another target.
Yeah. Yep. So you also have to count on somebody on your opponent not knowing that you have it and keeping units within 6 inches of one another. Which honestly, with orc units, that might be hard to do. You know what I mean? But they'd have to. It's got
3 conditions. I just don't want to. I just have no interest in meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like it because it's like.
We're not saying these things suck. Every codex that's ever come out has about 80% garbage relics and warlord traits. It always comes down to these 2, like these 2 amazing gems, right? That's every codex. We've already talked about really good ones and like really good relics. Like, we've already talked about a 5 of Feel No Pain relic, because orcs are all about that bad shit, right? Like getting in your grill, being bad motherfuckers. The relic Power Claw, the relic Chopper, the 5 of Feel No Pain. That's going to be pretty similar to like how Custodes roll, how Slam Captains roll. Like, those are good. Those are really good ones. There's already some good ones. So I don't think these suck. I just think that there's a bunch that are obviously decent, and but they become progressively less decent when you talk about their efficiency level.
Yeah. Let me see. And then I think this is the last one. Is the Bad Skull Banner. Freebooters models only. Once per battle at the start of your turn, bearer of the Bad Skull Banner.
It's the best one.
Can choose. What's that?
It's the best one.
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
So this is the greatest one, Haspil.
Oh, okay. So yeah, freebooters model only. Once per battle at the start of your turn, the bearer of the Bad Skull Banner can choose to fly the flag on its boss pole. If they do so, friendly freebooter units do not have to take morale tests until the start of your next turn. So I don't know. I feel like if you're an orc player and you're taking morale tests,
so bad.
You're doing it wrong.
You want to know why it's bad? It's a reoccurring theme. It has another condition. First off, it's a one-use only item. Second off, it says you're only putting off the morale phase, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't say you automatically pass it. Did I hear that right?
No, yeah, it just says for this turn.
For this turn.
Doesn't say until the, what did it say?
Oh, hold on. Let me read it again. If they do so, friendly freebooter units do not have to take morale tests until the start of your next turn.
So you get one turn of Fearless.
Yeah.
So what's the range on it on this banner? Is the whole battlefield?
Friendly freebooter units do not have to take the whole battlefield.
This thing actually might be wearing on me.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, now when you start talking about, okay, condition 1, I don't like one use only. Okay, but then condition 2, I like infinite range. Okay, so third condition is you have to be freebooters. What am I giving up by being a freebooter? Isn't there rumors on what that clan trait is, or we talked about it some way?
I don't know.
I'm farming chat. Chat, what's the rumor for freebooter fucking clan bullshit?
Yeah.
It might be, Wolfstark brings it up because, like, if you want to, this has play in armies that you might want to play with truck boys that don't have 30-man mobs and shit that mob up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So their thing is +1 to hit. Is that real? Is that confirmed?
No, that's Goff's, isn't it?
No. Goff's is
somebody. Oh no. Somebody, they have like reroll ones.
Oh, they kill something and then they have +1 to hit, like for the whole turn, for the whole game. That same like what is it?
I'm trying to find some stuff here, but
so they're flash kits. Oh, they're flash kits. Freebooters don't have a culture. Only flash kits have the keyword. What?
Yeah, I don't know. I am gonna have to apologize.
The freeboot, if I'm not mistaken, is the whole concept that it doesn't follow a house. Just kind of like the knights have that same concept.
Oh, is it like the renegades, basically?
Yeah. They kind of do their own thing. They're free, which makes sense because if I'm not mistaken, there's not a lot of characters that you have access to for being a freebooter.
Oh, so this is interesting.
Everybody else is.
So people are saying basically it's flash kits because of the pirate hat guys, and they're saying that basically you kill a unit, you have +1 to hit. It's for the rest of the game, so it's stackable. So you can have like a flash get free Luda or free Buddha squad. So this banner keeps your flash kits from dying, and flash kits don't get to have big mobs, right? Like they're not. They're smaller. They're like
just like Tinder 12.
So if this is all true, this is all real. If basically flash kits are freebooters, and flash kits naturally, and then they get +1 to hit that stacks, and you are so inclined to play this as your theme, then this banner is really good, in my opinion. Because those 12-man squad sizes, they lose 5 guys. You know, like if they
gone.
They gone. But you only get it once. So like I would say if you were inclined to play freebooters, this is a good relic.
All right. And I think that's it. The last thing on there was the relic more gubbins, which is basically the same. Everybody has one stratagem, 1 CP for an extra relic, 3 CP for 2 extra relics. And that's pretty much it. Those are the rumors.
We've done it.
We broke it down. Man, there's so much hype in this chat for Orks. Like, I've never seen us read a bunch of relics and have so many people already know what they meant before, like already knew the words.
yeah.
Dude, they deserve it.
Orktober hype, son.
They absolutely deserve it. Ork players out there from coast to coast, mountain to valley, they deserve it. I want them. I want Draka to be the beast that he is in my mind. I want boys to be as menacing as they are, when you put down 120 of them. I think the meta needs it. I think the community needs it. Orks, you go kill the armies that my nids can't interact with so I can bring them back out.
Yeah, Ork hype is real. I'm glad to see so many fucking Ork fans in the chat. Like
enthusiasts.
Ork enthusiasts. Ork connoisseurs. I don't know if that works. All right. Well, I think we knocked it out of the park. This is the part of the podcast where Rob would say something like, go to thelongwar.net and become a veteran of the Long War today, aka go to our paywall and give us money. And then he would say something like, Haspil, take us out.
All right. So I'm going to have to Orkify this quote because it is the greatest Ork movie ever made. So we are war boys. Kama crazy war boys. Fukushima Kama crazy war boys. Today, Weeze's heading to Gastown. Today, Weeze's hauling Aquacola. Today, Weeze's hauling produce. And today, Weeze's hauling mother's milk.